Morning, everyone. So for this video, we'll talk about my second game in the Cinco team tournament. So in my first game, I played against High Elves with like 3 Griffins, bunch of Rymanites, blah blah blah. It's been a while since I played it, so I'm not going to go back and do a full review of that one. But I did get a 20 that game, and so in round two, we're sitting in first, playing against another American team who have Smith family on their team as well, and I got paired up versus Ben Mitchell and his Ogres. And a treat for you guys, Ben is actually very good about taking pictures of screenshots because he um, works really hard to review his games and see what he does good and bad, which is a great. I wish I did it too. So I do have screenshots of the games I will be using. I won't be able to show you moves on UB, but I'll use my mouse as best I can. So his list is an ogre army. Nothing too crazy here. Thom Master, 2 hunters. He does go 1 hunter with regen and 1 with Talisman of Shielding, just to make himself a little better versus Alchemy Magic. Anything else kind of weird? Bruisers, Scraplings, 3 Tigers, a cannon, Rock, 2 Giants. So he does take the cannon. I know this is a big thing with people, whether they take a cannon or maybe something else. Cannon, I think, is good for this matchup. Obviously, it just scares me. I mean, I have to take risks. You'll see that I don't get fucked by the cannon, but I very well could. So I debated for a while what Herald gifts to take. So I think it's pretty. I've played this matchup before. In fact, I played this army that I'm playing versus him with almost the exact same army. I think he had 2 Rocks and a Yeti unit instead of 2 Giants and a dog. And so I knew I was going to take Quicksilver Lash and Gloria Gold on my chariot because the Quicksilver Lash is just so good value on the 1 hunter that is Troll Eater. And so it kind of has a nice, 3 dicing that is a very high value spell versus him. And it's just, I don't know, I just like having it. And then on my Lord, last time I took Veilwalker Fly and I took Breath, Hellfire, Grave Cause. I think I have to take Hellfire, Grave Cause. Obviously, he has a lot of big things for me to kill. Hellfire is great versus Ogres, and obviously Grave Cause is really good too. Because it was flags, I decided maybe I should take Comet in case he tries to hide in a corner. His team was down a lot of points when going into our game last night. So I wasn't sure if he was trying to conserve or if he was trying to go get points, or he was just going to play his game, which is fair. I think, and he ended up just playing his game, which I appreciate because it was fun for both of us. At least I had fun. Hopefully Ben did as well. I ended up taking Wrath of God because I wanted Fly again because I think the Breath is obviously really good against Ogres. Potentially, versus if I ever get in a fight with a Giant or something. Fly is really good just to get around him and, Swift Stride Charge and the terrain, which you'll see on the board, I think was good for Fly. And then that's it. Those are 3 things. And since I wasn't caring about what spell I was going to take because I had already locked in the Wrath of God, I was just going for abilities. And so hard target is whatever. He only has really 1 good shooting versus me, though the heal is nice. Strength 6 is whatever. I don't know. I just felt Fly. And yes, he has a cannon, but I don't want to get shot. So it's 2 things. And people were talking about, the risk of the 1-shot. 2 things. One, I can, I don't want to get shot by the cannon anyway unless I have to. And I do get shot by it twice. But I put myself in a position that if I live through it, which is, it doesn't have that. It's like a, 10% chance or something. It need like a 5 day. He kept having to move it to shoot me, which is an advantage to me because it needs, then it needs a 5 to hit. Still need a 2 to wound. I get a 4+ save. So right there, it's already like a 15% chance to get through, maybe 14. So you gotta take risks sometimes, especially if you're gonna go for wins. But he's gonna magic my Herald if he can anyway, and I can't stop everything. So sometimes a wound just gets through, and then I get 1 shot by the cannon anyway, or have the chance to get 1 shot by the cannon. If he puts 2 wounds on me, I guess technically it always helps not to be. I actually was thinking about this the other day wrong, but I could be 1 shot anyway. Yeah, it's 1 extra wound if he ever gets through, but if he ever gets through with the cannon, it's probably pretty bad for me anyway. And I think the Fly actually allows me to hide better because I can get around things better. So I took Fly. I love Fly, as you will see in most of my videos. But yeah, it's flag, so that can be a little boring, but it's a bunch of fighty shit with some good magic versus a bunch of fighty shit with some good magic. And let's get into the game. It's marching columns, which sucks, but you know, what can you do? Let's see if I can make this bigger for you guys. Oh, nice. 200 is too big. Oh, this is real nice. Real nice. Okay, so here's just us going back and forth on deployment. So he picked. So it's marching columns. He picked top side. I actually was gonna pick bottom side because I'm not too annoyed by this building, and I wanted the hill and this impassable to kind of like set myself up where at. And I thought maybe he might go over here, more so. But like if he went across from me, I would have felt okay, because I would have had the hill and these pieces of terrain to kind of jockey around. So he started deploying over here. This, and then I just dropped for all. So. You'll see my deployment here. I didn't turn everything to the side because there's always the risk of like vanguards and stuff. Herald in the center with the ability to kind of come behind this rock depending on where cannon goes. Port and Lord kind of chill near the middle. Strong flank over here. A pivot elder, as I would say, where he could either go here, he can go here, he can kind of come back around if I need to, depending on where Ben deploys. And I want to make it kind of far for the giants to get over here. I did tell Ben I was going to go kill his scraplings with my Herald Elder, and I do eventually do it, so that's always fun. So yeah, but flags makes the game kind of weird. So here's Ben's deployment. More centralized than I thought it'd be, to be honest. I didn't expect so much to be right, like kind of near my army. Not in a bad way for me, but I thought maybe his scoring would be farther back, but maybe he felt that he needs to do something with his scoring to be able to combat mine. Because if I'm willing to, as you can see here, kind of put my scoring up there, right? If I'm willing to kind of put my scoring up there, he has to, you know, he can't just waste all his scoring in the back. So he vanguards like this, and then we start turn one with me. So I have no charges. Here's my turn one. This is after my magic phase. So yeah, I'll have to talk with her. So the main thing I did here, which is interesting, is so this dog has to charge my herald for the big guy to charge. So this is the type of move that really, so I wanted to get behind the terrain piece for the cannon, right? And so what this basically means is this dog can't charge anything else. He can't see any of my other units or ranged. It's all out of 20 inches. And he's in the front of my herald. If he charges the herald doesn't have to pivot because he can fit. The problem is the rock won't fit then. And the way the rules work, so maximizing number of units is greater than moving the enemy. So you would move the enemy before you got less units. But it specifically says in the errata, you only move the enemy if you have to on the first charge. And so what that essentially means is, let's say you have 2 units charging, one on the left, one on the right. And if the left one charges, the enemy's going to, like if it charged by itself, for example, the enemy would have to wheel to them. Then then you would do that, and then the other unit would go. If the first unit can make it without the enemy having to move, then you can't make a move. So like this dog can fit my herald without moving, but he can't like clip in a way to force me to turn if he could do it without it. So the point being is the rock cannot charge my herald, and I get real close to him, and behind the terrain. So this is perfect for me. I think turn one, I kind of position jockey a little bit back. He can do what he wants. This herald runs over here. And, you know, stuff like this is... I can't tell you what my plan is right now with this guy. I really don't have, like, a great plan. And I don't mean that in, like, I have no idea. I'm just going to see what happens. Like, he's kind of chilling here. He's super fast. Is he going to come here, and do I have to run away? Is he going to give me the opportunity to run up behind him? I don't know. But I'm giving myself the option of saying, hey, I'm here. You know, do something about it. Magic, I cast Grave Calls on this thing. I actually don't want to kill this because if this dies, which is good for me, it could panic this and then he could charge me. So like, if I kill this, I can't kill this because if I kill this, he'll probably take a leadership 5 check on this to run and then kill my herald with the damn thing. So I Grave Calls this and I drop a comment over here with rerolls to wound. So this is Ben's turn 1. He does not charge this obviously with the dog. He kind of just repositions here. repositions here. He goes in a single file line to magic my Elder, and he kind of puts some stuff around here. He shoots the cannon with. He uses one move with magic, and the cannon misses, and then that's all he does with. Yeah. So yeah, that's his turn 1. Nothing exciting. The comet did go off and only went 5. I rolled a 5, so it went 6, and I missed everything. I think I was 7 from the cannon. I needed like a 7 would at least hit the cannon, which would have been nice, even though it's not likely to kill it. I guess it did make him like fan out a bit, so we'll say that it was worth it. Because I would have hellfired the big boy, who ended up dying anyway. So we'll say it was worth it. So this is the start of my turn 2, and what I end up doing is, because I'm not going to go to the next picture because it shows like the outcome, is I'll charge this guy right here, and the reason is that with the chariot, he's 11 off the hill because he's only strength 5. I have a 1-up save. My whole army is here. This unit can't even see to help. Nothing can really see to help. I'm going to take care of this in another way. And it's just like my poor lord can walk up right next to him and be like, okay, even if he's going to challenge, but even so, I can just make it so my list unit can clip if needed and just beat him on res at that point. So I just want to lock him up if I can. And I want to cause disruption. When I'm going for like bigger wins or like big wins, I try to like, sometimes you just need to cause a fucking issue, right? Make him do something. You'll see some things I do that like, they're not like genius moves, but they're like, they kind of make him go do things. And then the more your enemy has to keep doing things and like trying to get out of situations, the more likely you are to catch him off in a, this is more of a tactical thing and not anything to do with Ben versus me, but if you play like a straight game versus a lot of people, like, I don't know, some games, like if you do the formulaic, like I'm going to deploy here and be safe, I'm going to deploy here and be safe, you kind of take some of the opportunity for you to outplay your opponent, right? Make it harder on them, in general. And Ben does a lot of, I appreciate Ben because I think he does a lot of nice moves like this line to get to this, and it makes you see things, and he'll do something kind of cool next turn, even if I don't know if I 100% agree with it. But anyway, this is my only charge, and he actually flees. And you'll see the outcome of it here. So he fled through his unit. I block here. So what I do here is this guy can't wheel around if he's frenzy. So he's leadership 8 frenzy without a reroll. If he charges here, he can't overrun here. Even if he puts the hunter in, the hunter can only contact 2, so it means he has to contact these 2, which means he at best lines up like here, and he can't hit me. And I'm pretty sure I measured it that if the rock went in, this dog can't get, because of where this unit is and where the rock will be, he can't get up and over to block my Elder. So pretty much the rock, if it frenzies, is getting charged by the Elder. What else happened? This guy just kind of fanned out of this giant's line of sight, out of this range. Again, it's about a threat, right? I'm not going to charge this guy because I'm just going to lose to him probably. He'll probably kill me. I don't know how an Elder does versus a giant. Because I need 3s and 3s. And he needs 4s and 3s. No save for either of us. He has more attacks. It's actually more even than I probably give it credit for. But it's not worth it for me. If I can get out of line, because I'm more annoying sitting here. He's threatening nothing. I'm threatening a lot of things. I had considerations to charge this dog and maybe try to redirect into this, but then I'd be countercharged and it just wasn't worth it. Here, I land here because if he rallies the hunter, he's sandwiched between the 2 units, and it's almost impossible for him to reform in a nice way. In fact, it's almost literally like I don't know what he can do. And I relentless banner my warriors up here. These guys are just chilling. This failed charge. These guys are ready for here. And I'm trying to magic something. And the nice part is if he stays in this line, I'm blocked. The cannon's blocked line of sight wise because I can fit behind him. So that's where taking fly and being able to position yourself back here. Magic. Ben binds Hellfire, which is good, I think, because I was going to Hellfire this dog. I was going to Grave Calls something, probably the Hunter, which I did, and he stopped it. And I was going to try to Hellfire, because I had 3 dice left, this dog, just to get it out of the way so he couldn't come block But it didn't. I ended up. This guy could just barely see the hunter. I did a lash. I got 4 hits. Though I just need at least 3 hits to put 2 on the hunter. Did 2 wounds to him, and we're sitting pretty over here. At least 2 wounds on that hunter. So sack 2 dogs. Yeah, I'm just chilling here like this. So the interesting move Ben did. I guess I can look at here and tell you what Ben does. So this fails frenzy, so it has to go. So I'm probably gonna get the rock. He actually chooses to use the dog's leadership so that he flees with the hunter, so that his unit can actually reform in some capacity. So the hunter flees, right? Hunter flees. So it's still running. The rock killed. Oh, we'll start over here. Rock killed this, prepared to be charged by me. Yeah. I don't think I could fit. I should have actually checked. I don't think I could have. There's a chance I could have made the dog. I'm in his front. But the way he is, I might have been able to... I probably couldn't make him turn to me. I probably couldn't wheel enough. But I should have tried, maybe. I don't know. I kind of wanted these two just to take care of this. So this charges here. What did he do? He put the hunter here. He actually moved his mages up to this unit. And so it actually shortened his unit. And he had room to reform in front of my herald to block him from charging the hunter. And he got himself a cannon shot, just barely here, which was good, and he missed. The dog got to here, but the dog could only reach to just barely. He can't block my Portent Lord. I probably should have moved my Portent Lord over one, but it doesn't matter. The giant came up here. This came here. This kind of all just started going to the right. So I guess this is the big turn for me. He takes pictures after the turn, so I don't want to go yet. So what do I do here? What's my thought process? This turn took me a while, and we'll walk through some of my options. Over here, it's pretty easy. You charge both of these at this. It can't flee. You hopefully break it, and then you start coming around this flank. This guy can't charge anything, so he's going to walk up around here to threaten the cannon, threaten just being behind the enemy. It's just a very annoying model. Here's where I had some trouble. Obviously, this could charge the dog if I wanted. I believe I had the ability to go up and over, but I didn't. This guy can only see this and this. There is consideration, and the cannon. It needs a 9 to charge a cannon, but if I fail, it's really bad. And even if I make it and I don't break it, then I have a giant in my flank. So I charge both these at the Iron Gut unit. And my thought process is he has a lot of stuff around, and I charge the dogs with my dogs. Right? My thought process is if I kill this dog, or at least if I hold, I can reposition myself in such a way that I can probably block this giant from getting up here. It's also a pretty long charge. This guy in the rear, and these guys are not a big deal. So you got to think of what happens if I hold, right? So the Portent Lord comes out too. So it's Portent Lord and Herald in this unit. Herald will clip here, Portent Lord will clip here. So if he holds, right? You have to think of what's the counter charge. So let's assume he can't charge with these two for whatever reason. And this unit's probably, let's just assume for whatever reason he can't charge with them. But he has the hunter and he has this unit. So he's going to flank me with this unit. Let's say he recharges me with the hunter into the herald perhaps. The problem, and I don't know how it would have went, but I had breath weapon still, and I had the Portent Lord who would have been strength 6 if he ends up breaking. But if he held. And he's not doing that many wounds to me. So, like, he would have to touch his lord with my Portent Lord. So, and I had Binding Scroll still. So, I could have Binding Scrolled Hereditary, stopped Smite, right? And even Binding Scrolling her, and then he maybe gets a Breath Weapon off. But Breath Weapon's not the greatest for me. Maybe this is an annoying fight because he can do double wounds to me. But if he goes here, so I killed the champ. So he has 3 characters versus my 2 characters, essentially. And the thing is, the challenging is interesting. He gets to go first. So who does he challenge with over here? Right? And if anybody. Well, either one probably dies to the Portent Lord. Or at least gets maybe... He probably should challenge with somebody. But if he recharges my Herald with this guy, and he challenges, sure, I mean, he has 5 strength 6 and impact hits. I go first, and he does double wounds to me, so that's really good. But I also have a breath weapon, and I mean he has a 2-up save, but no, like I have to do 2 wounds with the breath weapon in my attacks. It's not impossible to do it, And if he does kill me, he loses some res there. But I don't know. I think my Porn Lord might be able to fight this off. That's what I was saying. Because he does so many wounds to the ogres that, you know, if he holds, because he had the attribute on him too. I ended up putting the attribute on him. He might just fight it off, right? Because if he challenges with the Troll Hunter, which there's really no reason to, he probably wouldn't challenge with the Troll Hunter because there's no reason, because I can only fight him in. Well, he might have to anyway, because if he doesn't challenge with the Troll Eater guy, maybe I don't attack the Troll Eater guy and I just like breath weapon the Iron Guts and I just put all my attacks on the Iron Gut unit and just try to do like 6 wounds of res to help my Porn Lord out. And then depending on the Porn Lord, if the Porn Lord gets the challenge, he either has to take it with one of his 2 characters, losing all these attacks on my Porn Lord, or I just, say no BSB and try to kill his general or something, right? So I don't think this was like over for me if this happens, as long as this guy doesn't make it in. Let's see what happened. So I charge and I break them. They fail to rerollable 8. There's like 4 left, and I catch them. And I actually go really nice distance just out. So I Hellfire this guy for 6 wounds because he stopped the Glory of Gold on my Herald, which was smart. Obviously, if I get Glory of Gold off and he holds, then he can't charge the Hunter in because I'm just going to smoke the Hunter before, and my Lord would get rerolls too. So it was really bad if the Glory of Gold went off. He had to let this go. So we're in this position. What happened? I killed the Rocket, ran off the board. I pursued with the Elder just to guarantee it, since if I was standing here, I would have been behind these guys anyway, and it wasn't doing anything. So he pursued, they stayed, so he has room to run over here. These are just running away out of line of sight of the Giant because of its flags. This thing actually held, and I just expanded to go here. If this had held, I probably would have went 1 wide here and just try to block the Giant like that. I would have had to do something maybe a little fancy, but it was whatever. And he ran behind. So this is my turn. He can't see me, which was, I guess, fortunate. He'll try to charge the rear of my guy again. I have the breath weapon. It's like a 10 he needed or something. It was high enough that I mean, all I can do is just accept it, right? There's a point where we're in this game right here, and I have to just be like, all right, I'm going to get shot by a cannon. I can be charged by the Hunter. If I survive it, if I survive this turn, I'm in a really good spot. And this Giant can't charge me anymore because I'll just kill him before he strikes. So this is where we're sitting. This is after my turn. So it's Ben's turn. Let's see what Ben does. Yeah, so Ben will move here to block my Elder. He'll block my Warriors. He failed this charge. He blocked my guy here. He rallied this guy and put a spell up on him. And he shot this with the cannon and missed. And this is sitting here. Again, another interesting turn for me. I charge the Giant on the right because it's blocking me. On the left, sorry. This left one. I charge this guy. He has Basalt, but I figure without anything to help except these guys on like a 9 or something, maybe an 8. Maybe it was an 8 or 9. I think it was 8. It's whatever. I can eventually kill him. He does like 0 wounds to me. He needs 4s, 5s, and 5s with 5 attacks. So I'm not too scared of fighting him. And you can always fail a 3-up save, right? That's what they say. I charge here to get rid of the chaff. So I do a couple weird moves here. I'm not 100% sure I love them all. So this will kill. This will go there. This will go there. This will go there. Then he'll walk back here. This will just stick around. This will kind of shift up to keep them in the front, which actually probably doesn't matter one bit. And he moved like down. Actually, you know what? That was dumb. I kept them in the front, but there's no reason to. I might as well put him in the flank and just make him only get 1 model in. But maybe it matters for his overrun purposes. I kind of like say I'm going to sack this side of the board and at least force him to bring in the big unit. Whether it gets it out of the way for this side of the board or just to maybe put him in threat range of, maybe the Herald later on. And I want to try to get a shot at this thing with my magic, because if I kill him, it's a lot of points, and if it kind of opens up the other spells, because I'm trying to kill the cannon, I'm trying to kill him. And these guys, I think, turn around. So This is my turn. How my turn ends. So they're both in the front. He survived because he stopped this spell, but I did blow up the cannon with Grave Calls. I was next to it. I did rerollable wound Grave Calls. I killed it, but I put myself next to it so I could breathe on it if needed. I killed this giant. We don't do any wounds to each other. I win by 1, which is great. So I'm strength 6, and then I turn my flank to him so that if this makes it, he doesn't get the rear bonus. He only gets the flank bonus, which he already has. So he's only up by 2 to start, and I have a good chance to hold. Yes, the giant can clip me and overrun into this. It's a 7 to overrun into the mage. I have to just start potentially sacrificing things. I mean, it's about flags too, right? If he goes into this, I need to worry. This guy's facing up here, so I'm thinking I can get this unit for flags. And I already got one already, and he's probably not going to get these 2. He might have some plays to get these 2, but maybe I have plays to get this one if he does. So some of this move of like sacrificing the Gluttony Warriors is to get flags, and then he moves back here. So Ben's turn. Double charges here. This doesn't charge. This makes the 8. He actually has a really good turn, I'd say. Not good enough in the end of the game, but he has a good turn. Or at least in the magic and the shooting phase. So what's he do in the magic? So he makes this charge. He makes both of these charges. All right, this is probably better. Makes both of these charges. He gets 2 spells off. Breath Weapon, Strength 5, and Hereditary off here. I try to stop the smite here, and I fail. It was like 5 versus 3, I think I failed. And then he runs this 2-wound hunter in front of my elder and pops him for 3 wounds with the spear. So that was annoying. So this is after Ben's turn. He 3 wounds here. We're still fighting. I did 3. He failed a ward save and I did 3 wounds. So that was my one. Like, yeah, suck it. You can fail 3+ if you take enough of them. He failed 2 and he died eventually. But I'm holding because I won actually, and he was on a rerollable 7 to not break here. And an unrerollable. Oh, I think that might have had rerolls. I can't tell the distance. So this is the turn. He failed this overrun. He didn't catch this. He chose not to run after it with this unit, I think because of these guys. And this is actually a nice, interesting thing on flags. So right now this will fail to rally and run here on my turn 5. He doesn't get flags for it unless it runs off the board. He'll get full points if it doesn't rally, but he won't get flags. So to me, you have to catch him because this is yes, you can say 500 points doesn't matter, or 300 points if it rallies, 250, whatever. But if you don't get it, it just sucks that he didn't catch here for him, and he didn't get the mage. So his giant's sitting here with his dig out. So what do I do in my turn? I attempt to charge. I charge this, and he tears off the board. Then I redirect here and need a 12. This is where I don't know if I like what I did. I end up trying to charge this, and we'll talk about why it's probably good and not good. So here I charge this as well with him. I'm like, okay, well, I might as well try. And then nothing else here charges because it's flags, and I don't give a shit. I don't want to engage this unit. Even though I could probably, at this point, the minute this terrored, there was probably a play to be said where this could go in, hold this unit at least for a turn, and then maybe, he could come over and, threaten it. But I just didn't want to risk it. Not with all the buffs and stuff. I probably could have, to be fair. I think I overestimated some of this stuff. But that's okay. I can't do anything about it. So charge here. So this charge, I end up charging the rear because I figure it's my turn 5. If I get out, kill all of this. Now my Portent Lord's out for a turn. It could be really nice. I fail the 8. But the problem with failing it is because I went in here, I only have one good spell, which is Glory of Gold. I mean, I could slash here, and I should have. I ended up throwing a Comet to try to get the attribute up, and I don't know where I would have put it. Hell, I might have put it on top of this because it's not that good versus my... I probably would have actually put it on top of this because it's not that good versus my Portent Lord. It sucks versus him. But I really shouldn't have. I should have just accepted that it's going to take me a turn to help him. And I could have walked next to him, right? Or flew up here and at least cast spells either here and maybe try to put the attribute on him at least. I don't know. I think I probably would charge it because if I make it, it's just so good. You make it, it's an 8 Swift Stride. You make it, you break this whole thing. You free the Portent Lord for a turn. If this is stuck here, maybe the Portent Lord can go here. I don't know. I think it's fine. I did it. So I did it and I failed, but I didn't have good magic. So this was a shitty magic turn. These failed to rally, so they ran here. So this is what I'm talking about, right? If the giant charges, they're running behind the hill. They're probably not going to run off the board in my turn. So they're probably going to live for flag purposes. I get behind here so that I can cast Glory of Gold and just be annoying. Maybe pin this for maybe cause a check or something. This was my turn 5, so I have one more turn after this. This just kind of lines up here. I didn't get Glory of Gold off, obviously, because it was the only spell. I think I got the 8 phase this time. Yeah, I got the 8 phase, which sucks because, again, not like super complaining, but it was like if I got any of the phases where he only gets 5 dice, which like there was 4 phases left and 2 or 5 dice for him, and one was a 4 dicer. If I get any of those, I'm just 5 dicing the spell. Because my mage is not worth enough being here, but Glory of Gold is basically auto-killing this guy. Because it's just so good. So yeah, I didn't get a spell off. I guess I hold here. Yeah, we hold here. And this failed. Yeah, I failed these charges. And he did a wound to me, I did a wound to him, and we're sticking here. So Ben's turn 5. He'll move this forward to magic the Herald. He'll block the Chariot with the Giant and do some magic. So this is the end of Ben's turn. So he didn't do any wounds to the Herald. I think he got a Trial of Faith off, and he didn't do any wounds, and he breath weaponed this guy, who ended up killing. He killed the Elder, which was unfortunate, but it happens. I mean, he had a strength 5 breath weapon, and it did a bunch of wounds anyway. And he blocked here, and he looked this way, and I killed he didn't get any buffs off here, so I just killed that guy. He failed the 1 save. He held. He was -1, so it was rerollable 7, so it's probably fine. But it actually was a big deal because the dog held 2, actually. The reason being, if he holds here, if he doesn't hold, obviously the poor Lord can charge here and fuck him up. So this is my last turn. I don't think I charge anything. No reason to go help him because he should be able to take care of this by himself, and I don't want to be in range of like anything over here. So he runs to the corner. This guy runs down here to make this giant a 12 if you want to try. They actually rallied. These just get out of line of sight of the hunter. So it's basically my last turn of magic, and I'm trying to kill the hunter or kill something else. He actually I could have charged here, and it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world to maybe try to get off the board. Nah. I tried to march. I failed the march check, which was... It didn't seem like a big deal to Ben, but I could have landed here and tried to blown up him with the breath weapon as well as magic. In the end, I grave call... He stops this lash. I grave calls the Iron Guts off the board. My poor Lord only does 3 wounds despite needing 2s and 2s with 5 attacks and D3 wounds. But it's fine. I'll kill it in the end. And so we're standing like this. The giant will fail this charge. He can't charge anything. So pretty much his last turn is just, does he survive here? Oh yeah, and my breath weapon did 10 hits and put 3 on his general. So I'm not going to complain too much because I did half points to his general because of that. So we're sitting here with not much to do for him. In the end, my poor Lord smokes both units. The giant fails charge. He gets... The Trial of Faith, I ward the 1. I stop the Hand of Heaven. He gets a breath weapon off. It's strength 3. And he has to do 2 wounds to my Herald. 3 wounds will kill it. 2 wounds will have it. 1 wound will do nothing. The breath weapon does 2 wounds. It does like 11 hits, 2 wounds. I fail both saves, and the hunter misses. So I end the game with half points here. And that's an 18 for me because, yeah. I mean, if this would have died, it would have been 17. If it would have lived, I think it would have been 19. But, I mean, I'm not going to complain because some nice things happened, like these rallying got me points back, halving point the general. I mean, there's little things at the end of the game that could have gone both ways. I mean, I pretty much had it pretty solid here-ish, you know. Here I was in pretty good shape. I was a little worried after maybe this turn where he put 3 wounds here, got a buff off here, and it was just kind of annoying. But I could still handle it. And that's it. That's the game. Yeah. Obviously, things I could have done better. The charge with the Herald was, I don't know. If I make it, it's so good. If I make it, it just gets me out a turn earlier. This charge, I don't know. I might not do this charge. Because if I don't do this, well, the problem is if I do this charge, So because I did this one, right? So I think there's a play here. Which turn was it? This turn. There was a play here, I think, to not do this charge and not do this charge and just like walk up here and walk this up here and cast magic on this and magic on like double magic this thing and just put myself in position to like deal with these two. Like my magic phase ended up doing nothing and I lost the Elder. This guy, like, it's probably better just to fucking Quicksilver Lash this guy. It's a one spell that needs like it has a really good chance to kill him, and he has to stop it, right? And I would have got the 7 phase. I know it's a woulda, but if I would have got the 7 phase, that's like a 5 dice Grave Calls on him, like a 4 dice Grave Calls, 4 dice that, maybe more. I had a ton of tokens, so maybe he just dies to me. Maybe I just should have magicked him, position this guy like here to like look at this unit, just back these guys up and make him make a decision there, and maybe just walk this up and say, all right, I can save you if needed. I'm going to try to magic stuff. I think this turn I got a little antsy with this. And by the time I charge this and this, I realized that if this fails, my magic's going to suck. Even if it makes it, my magic sucks because I don't really need to Hellfire the Iron Guts for any reason. Right? So, but the problem is here is like, this is like twofold, right? This is the best guy to cast Glory of Gold on when I'm fighting him. But he's also the best guy to do the Magic Missile to, and you can't do both because he's either in combat or he's not. Yeah, I think this turn had a lot more options than what I did. I mean, the ones I took weren't that crazy. Charging here wasn't the riskiest thing in the world. This was fine. It got me the scoring. This one probably wasn't the best one. I probably should have walked here. I can't do the scale, but I probably could have walked to like up here. Yeah, because this was 16. I mean, at worst case, I could have ran like right behind this unit and magicked here and kind of looked around if I need to. Yeah, I guess maybe that would have been better. I think for Ben's like general thing, I think towards the end of the game, you got to start worrying about flags a little more. And you got to make moves to like, I had a lot of opportunities just to walk out, right? I just didn't need to fight. Like the Giant did good because it kept blocking me, but it didn't like I just kept walking my scoring away. And I was like, I'm not going to lose it. I mean, the thing's obviously, if he kills my Herald like early on, things can go big. And I'm not going to say I didn't take risks, but I don't have too much to say. It's hard. I always, like I told people, I have a lot of trouble. I can analyze specific moves you did, but when I'm on the other side of the board, it's really hard. So like when I'm watching two people play, right? I can say, Ben, I would have done X or Y, right? But when I'm the other person, I'm always thinking about, oh, I would counter with this, I'd counter with this. And maybe, that's always a good perspective to have when the two people aren't yourself. But it's just harder because I know what my game plan was. I know what I wanted to do. I know a lot of little things. Because obviously when I'm moving, I'm trying to map out, what am I going to do if he does X and Y. I don't know. It's just different when you're spectating a game rather than being the other player. Because, I don't know, it's just hard to tell them what you think they could do sometimes. But, yeah, so be it. I actually thought of charging him at this unit. And in hindsight, I probably should have. They flee and they run here, but they never get to help here, and they're rallying on an 8 by themselves. Maybe that would have been better, but I can't redirect into anything. I also thought of charging the Giant. I only get 3 models in. But it means he gets less attacks if I don't do any wounds, and the Stomps are strength 5, and I get a save versus him, so it's not that bad. And maybe I just fucking break him. Probably a rank banner charge. I probably have 3 res to start. I'm almost never dying. Yeah, I don't know. Probably not worth it. Like a Glory of Gold. But if I win and hold, if I win is a big deal. If I win and he holds, I could reform down here, which makes this charge farther. But I also, then I'm strength 5 with Glory of Gold, potentially. I just think there was some play here to charge this and just say, fuck it. If you're going to charge me, you're going to charge me. And play around it that way. You know what I mean? Like, just because I couldn't get away from it. By the time I backed up my unit, right, to here, I was like, well, shit, I'm getting charged anyway. And now I'm giving the giant an overrun. I didn't magic him. So I don't know. Maybe there was some play here to not. Because I could have always. I'm still going to do the same kind of spells. I don't know. Maybe I should charge. Gave up the flank. But at least if I win or hold, I have a good chance to just shift down. And get out of, like. I don't know. I think there was some play here to charge. I know it doesn't look that great. And if he goes apeshit crazy on stomps, which is always possible, it could be really bad. But I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's the risk. If he stomps like 1,000,000 of them and I lose by like 8, yeah, if I lose it, yeah, it's probably not worth it because if I lose, it's really bad. But if I don't do any wounds, he does 5 attacks and stomps. I mean, the average says 3, 2, 1, 4. He does like 3 wounds on average without me doing any wounds. So he really can win by like 0 probably on average. On average, I probably win by... I don't even know, man. On average, I probably win that fight. If I Gloria Gold off, which he might be going off, well, I probably wouldn't have got the spell off because I still probably would have... I don't know. Sometimes I have trouble, like I need to kill that cannon, and I really wanted to kill this guy, so I probably didn't have the dice to do Gloria Gold anyway. But even if I won and shifted down, I still have spike shields then. And, you know, it's 3s and 2s with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 attacks needing 2s. 3s and 4s. I mean, that's 4 wounds. Maybe I just die then. I don't know. Maybe it's best if I didn't. Maybe I should have gone wider. Maybe I could have did something weird. I don't know. Maybe I probably should have at least gone wider so that I put more attacks on him. Yeah, maybe I should have gone wider and made them clip me. And just said, okay, you'll clip me here. Yeah, I'm not going to think about it too hard, but I knew that this unit was probably going to die in this position. Because I had to keep the giant blocked. I don't know. I should have... Where was my unit before I moved it? So this is where I was. Maybe I could have reformed... I don't know if I could reform out of his line of sight. I don't know if I could have reformed and moved up any. If I did, then this guy would be in trouble. I'd have to walk him a different direction for shooting him. Maybe that's where I didn't want to do it. I don't know. Because if he's here, if he could have got to like, I don't think they could have made it. If you look at where this is 4 inches, it's probably not enough. Well, I actually think they could have. I actually think these might have had a small chance to reform and get up here. And if they could have, would I have taken it? Maybe with the Elder coming back here, yeah, I might have taken it. Maybe it would have been a good move. Maybe it would have been a good move. And just accept that this isn't gonna... I don't know. I'm not gonna think too hard about it. Anyway, good game. I got an 18. Our team capped. We still have a game left, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, thanks for watching.